Oh, hello, guys. And this right here is going to be, I guess, a recommendation review, I don't know, of Realmslayer, the Gothic. Well, I wouldn't say Gothic and Felix. I'm just going to say the Gothic book. Just Age of Sigmar Realmslayer. I listened to it around 2 days ago. And just a quick spoiler free I recommend it. I thought it was very good. I had a lot of fun listening to it when I was lying in bed. It's around 4 hours, a little bit more than 4 hours. I did not listen to the interviews to CD5. I didn't listen to that. Or track 5 in my case. It's kind of like, yeah, no, I'm not listening to that bullshit. So, and I don't want to know. I don't care. Um, when I heard that it was Brian Blessed that was gonna play Gotrek, and then looking at the interview that they released before this book came out, I was like, oh no, because Brian Blessed during the interview, it just felt like so much bullshit coming out of his mouth. But oh god, but actually, he did a great job. Everyone did a good job in this, and I've listened to a few of a decent amount, let's say, of audiobooks from Games Workshop. And yeah, this might be one of the best when it just comes to acting and all that. I mean, for me, my favorite is still the Cyphus Kane. Oh, what is it called? I did a recommendation on it as well. But it's the one where Cyphus Kane is on a jungle planet with some Kelchans and he encounters the Dark Eldar and Tyranids. That's very good. But anyways, we have 5 main characters in this one. I mean, now we're going into spoiler territory. I don't really know how to explain this one because it is 4 hours and I want to do this very fast. But it does start off with we are we are with a bunch of fire slayers, and the one that is kind of like the important one that you have to remember from them is someone called Brodor, and he's a battlesmith, but Gotrek calls him Storysmith during the whole adventure, and I like that. I like that Gotrek is kind of like, what do you do? And then he explains, oh, I record the deeds, blah blah blah. All right, you're a Storysmith. I don't care if your title is Battlesmith. To me, you're a Storesmith, and that is what I'm gonna call you. I'm not gonna call you by your name because I'm Gotrek. I don't care about your name. Um, but it starts off with them. They're going to go and fight something to see if they can get some Urgold, And then they run into Gotrek, and then Gotrek kind of like, what the fuck? Where am I? What has happened? Oh god, he's just going around, and the Fire Slayers, their lodge, they think that Gotrek is just some merchants or something from a dispossessed clan who's just somehow wandered over here. So they confront him, kind of like, what the fuck, you fucking ass bitch? Leave this place. And Gotrek just bites off the nose of one of these dwarves. Yes, it was the nose. I think I remember him biting off a nose of some dwarf. And then he's like, all right, you taste like dwarfs. This is probably not demon or chaos bullshittery. Because, I mean, the thing I really like about this one is the interactions between Gotrek and just the world of Age of Sigmar. And especially him and Brodor. Um, yeah, they have a pretty good. I wouldn't really call it a relationship. I don't know what I would call it. I mean, or spoilers as well. I mean, come on, if you're listening to this, then you should probably fucking listen to the book already. But fuck, I don't want to spoil it. Anyways, that's Brodor. He's a battlesmith. The other one is Melaneth, which is a witch elf. She's not super important to this story. I guess she's more important. Well, she's important to the story, but we don't get super much of her. Uh, but in the end, she does go on a journey with Gotrek, because Gotrek has a specific thing that she's supposed to deliver, and she's like, you know what? When you die for regular causes, that is when I'm gonna take this shit and deliver it. But until that point comes, I'll help you with whatever bullshit, getting your axe back and all that. Uh, what else? We have Jordain, which is a human, a free guild prince. He's a prince of Edessa, which is a free guild city. I thought it was really good. I like Jordain. Jordain does die, kind of like in disc three, I think, or the end of disc two. He gets introduced in this at the beginning of disc two, and he dies at the end of disc two. And I like the because in the what is called Jordan is the first human Gotrek sees, and kind of like maybe some of the spirit that Jordan had reminded him maybe a little bit about Felix. So he had a little bit of. I don't think he had fondness for Jordan, because when Jordan dies, Gotrek does get sad, but not for Jordan. He gets sad for Felix. So because as he's dead, he's like, I Felix. He doesn't say the name Felix, but when he's kind of mourning or just going up, because Gotrek has gone a little bit insane. Brodor is kind of like, are you mourning Jordan? He's like, Jordan, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't give a fuck about Jordan. So yeah, I like how ill-tempered Gotrek was during this, but as the story progressed, and especially at the end, he's loosening up a bit. And there is a novella of Gotrek and Melaneth in the Bone Deserts that I might get to read. The problem is that I have a really hard time reading nowadays actual books and all that if they are kind of long and all that, because my attention span and my brain doesn't really work perfectly anymore because of the ME. It super tires me out a lot. So yeah, which is sad since I really like reading the books and all that. This is not an Age of Sigmar book, by the way. This is the Old World. And fuck, what's the artist's name? I think it's Kim, the girl. Yes, Kim Newman is the one who wrote this. And I guess her author name is Jack Yeovil. But I've heard good things about Kim, so I'm looking forward to when I get. Anyways, then we have Uthan, which I really like the interaction between Gothric and Uthan when they first meet. Because Gothric is kind of like, why are a lot of people so afraid of him, you know? Because I've heard from someone else that if we want to get to a realm gate, Uthan is the one we're supposed to talk to. And as he's talking to him, he's like, wait a minute, you're a fucking necromancer. And then Gothric is about to kill him, and then Brodor, and then they stop him, kind of like, Gothric, you can't just kill people. You know, because they are, at the moment, they're in a city. They're in a. Fuck, where are they? They're not in Hammer Hall. They're somewhere. in some city. I don't think it's not Odessa. There's some other city. Um, and they're like, you can't just kill random people. He's like, what? He's a fucking necromancer. And then it turns out that, well, that's how it is. This place has a lot of fucking people from all different kinds of god. People who worship Gorkamorka, even Nagash, because when Gotrek learns of that Nagash, until recently, was allied with Order and all that shit. Gorkamorka, we were all allies. So, yeah, it is interesting, and fuck, this is such a terrible way for me to recommend this shit, but because of how long it is, there's a lot of shit going on. And I just really liked it. And I'm kind of like, fuck, I don't want to spoil too much. I mean, you're right, spoiling that Jordan died. Okay, not really. It's not really super important, but there are a few key things. Kind of like, I like when they're in Hammerhall and then Gotrek is just looking at a priestess. And the broder's like, what are you looking at? It's just a priestess of Teclis. It's like, I know what's wrong with this world now. Teclis is a god. People are worshipping Teclis. That's what he thinks. He doesn't say that outright. And Broder is looking like, what is going on? And even Broder is kind of like, why do you? Because Gotrek really distrusts elves, which makes sense. He's an old world dwarf. And then Broder is like, why would you just hate an entire race? Kind of like, because you don't know these elves. Why do you hate these elves? What have they done to you? But I like that. Kind of like, these fucking pointy-eared bitches, fucking elves. I like that, and I hope that doesn't disappear from Gotrek until further on. I mean, I hope it never really disappears because if you look at the amount of time, his distrust for elf versus not distrusting elves, I guess. And Meloneth is not really a trustful elf to begin with, so I think it's good that she's kind of like walking with him. We might get some more of his like in racism against elves. I like that. It's funny and it's good. Uh, but it also loosening up a bit because in Age of Sigmar, that hostility, like it did in the old world, it doesn't really exist. There are still rivalries between them, but it's not to the point of war of beards or whatever it was called in in the old world. It's not comparable. And also the fact that in Age of Sigmar they have been allies for so long, they've been forced to be allies. And a lot of just oh yeah, also the specific frigate of Odessa. Yes, it is African, but I thought it was really good. They did great with the accents. I like the characters, and I also like that, for example, at the end, when they're kind of like destroying all these Odessa soldiers and all that, I thought it was good. So I would like to see kind of like how would the Odessa colors be, because I might want to do a small skirmish war band of Free Guild in specific Odessa. I think that would be nice. Having like a just a small skirmish force of Odessans. Something I would like to do. So I'm gonna have to look it up and see because they didn't really tell us how the Odessans would look and all that. I mean, alright, obviously a lion motif because they say it over and over again, spirit of lion, blah blah blah, and also what's his name? Jourdain did have a lion on his chest plate, so But I would see like them having a lot of purples, silvers, and purples. I'm guessing with probably silver, purple, whites, something like that. Probably gold lions, I think. Yeah, I think that is my viewpoint of how Adessence would normally look like, or at least their uniforms. So yeah. Oh yeah, we also got a description of a skirmisher of Hammerhall who had a bunch of flowers on his outfit. So I thought that was an interesting point as well, just in the background, as the Skaven are slaughtering some skirmishers, some free guild skirmishers. They specifically tell us that the skirmishers had flowers on their outfits. Flowers and roses, I think. Well, roses are flowers. But I think they specifically said flowers and roses, or it was just flowers. And roses is just what I inserted myself.